Share with you how to deal with uncertain and unpredictable autoimmune symptoms, especially during a flare. My name is Anindita and I am a functional medicine certified health coach and practitioner, and I help women with autoimmune conditions reverse their symptoms with their bodies as their guide. There's a this is something that I passionately believe in, that which is what keeps people stuck, and many people believe that the only way to deal with the unpredictability of their symptoms, especially when it comes to autoimmune conditions, is to either fight their bodies because their bodies have betrayed them in some way, or try and fix the problem because something is broken, presumably their immune system. And because of that belief, they never get around to figuring out actually to how to support their body's healing process, so that in between flares or when you're feeling better, you can actually take some steps that I'm going to share with you today to to put things in place to nourish your body, to create a self-care or a flare toolkit, so that flares become less intense and the symptoms become more manageable. But instead, what usually happens is that people feel that especially when they're going through a very bad patch, which is typically the case with autoimmune conditions. It's called autoimmune flares. They feel that their body has just got run over by a truck, or they might feel pain everywhere and a burning sensation and swollen and stiff because of widespread inflammation. They can feel that it feels like the entire body is shutting down, and their arms have weights on them, maybe even their legs, and they suddenly can't eat all the foods that they were having all this while without throwing up, right? So these symptoms can come in any way, shape or form, and that's what Dr. Cynthia Lee had realized. And when she was diagnosed with autoimmune condition of the thyroid, and she had both hyper and hypo symptoms, and initially I think there was no consensus, and she's written a superb book. It's called A Brave New World. And she had this debilitating autoimmune condition with all kinds of symptoms that happened at the birth of her first child. And it was racing heart, very, very intense and extremely severe symptoms, sleeplessness, exhaustion, whereas immune system was attacking her thyroid in particular. And it was finally diagnosed as Hashimoto's, and mainstream medication really could not offer her any relief. Apart from saying that medications are the only solution, and or genetics has a role to play, so there's not much that you can really do about it. And she embarked on a personal journey of healing, and she addressed her body and her mind. She worked on her sleep routine. She took help from her family and her friends. She started embracing nature, detoxification, gut health. She actually then got into qigong. So many healing modalities that finally helped her address the root causes of her disease. And in specifically, she used the functional medicine approach, which is what I am certified as a health coach in, and that's what I use in my coaching program, Healing from Within. And I'm going to share with you one particular model that I use, which help my clients and can help you too. So it was only finally when she addressed the real cause of her condition that she was able to find relief, and she was able to bring her disease under control, which brings me to the next point. I'm going to share with you about the characteristics and triggers for autoimmune flares, which is what makes this particular condition so unpredictable, right? So I'm going to share with you the characteristics and triggers for autoimmune flares. My name is Anindita, and I am a functional medicine certified health coach and practitioner, and I help women with autoimmune conditions reverse their symptoms with their bodies as their guide, using a very unique body-wise healing framework. So autoimmune flares refer to periods of increased immune activity, right, and inflammation that comes along with it. And this seems like it just simply randomly appears out of nowhere, and the characteristics can vary significantly from one person to another, right? That's what makes it so difficult to figure out what's going on, to manage it, And of course, it can make the existing symptoms worse, or it can create new symptoms, right? So it's quite unpredictable. And it can range from mild discomfort to debilitating manifestation. So there's a huge range and scope, and as I said, this adds to the pain and the discomfort and everything else that goes along with living with a chronic illness. So understanding these triggers and their potential impact can empower you to take proactive measures. And I'm going to talk about, so you hang on to the end of the session, I'm going to talk about some a toolkit that you can put in place for flare management, because it is not one trigger but a combination of triggers, usually a synergistic combination of multiple triggers that is involved. And that's what makes it so difficult, because it's not one particular thing that has caused this flare. Sometimes multiple triggers are going on in the background. And I'm going to share with you just in a bit what those triggers possibly can be. And initially, sometimes there may be no noticeable symptoms, or maybe just minor irritations, and a lot of people actually tend to ignore these or numb them with various medications, to help them go through the day. And then there is increased progression of triggers that get added, and that's when it just keeps progressing. And then there's that proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back. That may not be big enough by itself, but what happens is that is typically the last final addition to the already large load on the camel, right? I'm using this metaphor because it becomes the final triggering event. So that is not the cause, but it's one of those multiple triggers that have progressed over time and kept on adding up. And then finally there was that one final trigger that tipped things over. So the most common triggers are related to our lifestyle, right? And so if we actually want to make sure that we are not getting triggered, our flares are not getting triggered, we need to address and modify our lifestyle. So some common triggers are stress, so that may be emotional and physical stress, infections, so it can be viral or bacterial infections, molecular mimicry, it's the primary mechanism by which the autoimmune disease activation process starts, and I've spoken about it in my blogs, in my earlier videos. So it typically has to do with gluten exposure, the protein found in wheat and other wheat containing products, grains, hormonal changes, so hormonal fluctuation during menstrual cycles, pregnancy, menopause can influence the immune system, and that's probably what happened in the case of Dr. Cynthia Lee, her pregnancy. Allergens, chronic acute exposure to pollutants, chemicals or allergens such as mold, and even foods such as wheat, foods that we consume every single day, foods like wheat, dairy, corn, soy, eggs, toxicity, so toxins that we are exposed to in the air, in the food that we consume, especially if it's highly processed, or the products that we use on our bodies, in our houses, right? All of this. So by understanding what your triggers are and by working with someone who can help you to eliminate these triggers, work on other things at the same time, like your gut health, so that you can address the root causes, can go a long way in reducing the symptoms, the severity, the intensity of the symptoms, as well as the flares. So I want to now share with you a few ideas so that you can create a toolkit to help you deal with these flares as and when they happen. But you can do this before things become that much worse, right? So you are prepared for these kind of challenging situations, and it can help to reduce the frequency of the flares. So I'm about to share with you a few ideas about how you can create a toolkit for flare management, and some practical steps that you can implement and do it in your daily life. My name is Anindita, and I'm a functional medicine certified health coach and practitioner, and I work with women with autoimmune conditions to help them reverse their symptoms with their bodies as their guide. So the unpredictability of living with an autoimmune condition mostly arises from dealing with the flares that just can come up out of the blue, like seemingly just out of the blue, suddenly and without warning. And most people obviously then don't realize that they have control over their body's healing journey. It's not that everything is out of control, because it can really feel like that. I completely understand that it feels like there's nothing in your control. everything is out of control, including your body, including the symptoms that are cropping up, because so many of them seem to be unrelated. There are so many different unexplained ones, new ones, and it becomes really hard to figure out what you can do next. And as a result, they are mostly caught unaware when their symptoms become worse, right? So they don't take the steps necessary to address the root causes of this disease, and so they're not prepared when this kind of situation comes. They are not prepared, their body is not prepared, and it does not help them to address, to reduce or deal with the flares better with some grace and some ease. So in my coaching program, I actually have a model that takes care of this aspect of the healing journey, and I use this with my clients. It's called CARE, or the CARE model. C stands for Create a Self-Care Plan. A stands for Access Inner Guidance. R stands for Replenish Your Reserves. E stands for Embrace the Struggle with Softness. This model allows my clients to use the tools of self-compassion and body awareness to guide them, even when there are no answers, even when, it's not sure what's going on. You may not realize, or figure out what their triggers, all the triggers are. We can still use this model to help you deal with that situation. And these are some of the suggestions that I have, and I'm sharing this with you so that you can actually implement some of these in your day-to-day life. The first one is rest and recovery aids. So things like comfortable pillows and blankets if you live in a cold condition, so that you can stay warm and take some rest and feel like taking some rest. But if you live in a tropical climate like mine, then making sure that you are not sweaty or humid, and you don't feel overheated, right? So you're cool and you're comfortable as much as possible. Eye masks and earplugs can block out the light and the noise when you're trying to get some sleep or even a nap, right? Because you might need to catch up, or you might need to get more sleep than usual. So making sure that you maximize your sleep, the environment for your sleep. Audiobooks, podcasts, or calming music can promote relaxation, can promote, reduce stress, can help you sleep to some extent. So all of these can actually help you in some way or the other. Journals, writing down your thoughts, just sharing it with yourself, writing it down, just sharing your frustrations on paper, any other negative emotions that come up is really cathartic. And so are adult coloring books, which can help you to just focus on that and in a healthy way distract yourself, because these are engaging low energy activities, right? But it really works. Stress relief strategies. So there are of course many. These are something that I'm sharing with you. Taking some calming teas like herbal teas are really good for this. Chamomile tea, lemongrass, jasmine is one of my favorites. Essential oil rolls on are available, especially with lavender. You can just apply it on your wrist, behind your ear. So just helping you. We don't realize how much aromas and fragrances can help us sort of lift us up. Or even scented candles. Just make sure that you're using essential oil based candles, otherwise it can become really toxic. Guided meditation recordings are available on one of my favorite apps is Insight Timer. It's absolutely free. Or even Calm has some amazing sleep meditations when you're struggling to get some sleep. So they can help to lower anxiety and even pain. Stress balls can really work, those squishy balls. In fact, I have one here right now. So can get different ones, and that can really help to with some frustration relief, right? So this just helps to provide some relief from frustration, and any photos, anything that makes you happy, right? So just surrounding yourself with those positive images. Healthy snacks and hydration. Diet is a whole, it's a very big subject, but some of the things that can help you is to making sure that you're well hydrated. So having some enough water. If you need to add some electrolytes, but not sugar laden, some minty drinks, so you get these amazing water combinations with a slice of lemon or some mint or a slice of pineapple. So there are many ways. Tangerine, you can do that. So just make the water more interesting. Snacks can be made appetizing, like you can add bone broth to make a soup. Add bone broth to it. It's very healing, helps with inflammation. Smoothies, nuts and seeds as snacks. There are so many snack options that can help you just munch on something. Cereals actually gluten-free cereals and with minimal sugar. They are excellent option for snacks if you feel like munching on something, and maybe take a bit of vegan yogurt with it, just like that becomes kind of like a dessert. If you want something to settle your stomach, then ginger or mint or chamomile can help with it. Ginger is excellent for this. Peppermint, you get these peppermint soft gels which can help. You get it in every country. Probiotic rich foods, of course, like yogurt, and you can get amazing vegan yogurt and kefir. It can help to settle your stomach, support your gut. And of course, pain management tools. I'm talking about all non-medical items here. Heating pads, cold packs, depending on what is going to help you. Light stretching bands or yoga, straps. So light restorative practices really work, right? Stretching a bit before sleep as much as possible. So obviously you need to see what your body can take and what you feel like doing, but even some mild, very very mild stretching, just gentle flow movements can really help to calm the immune system, your mind, your body. So you can do all of these things to help you with sleep and even otherwise stress management. In fact, soft tennis balls for pressure points massage. I am not an expert on that, but I know that it can really work. There are pressure points underneath your feet, and various ways of doing that. There are enough resources available for that. I'm just sharing some some tips that you can think of, some ideas, so that you can sort of see what works for you and what are some of the things that will help you, because you need to customize this toolkit based on your symptom, based on your preferences, and based on how much energy you have, what kind of pain levels you have. But doing this and just making a note of it, and what I mean by a toolkit is maybe just making a list of the things that you need to will help you, and try it out, experiment with it, allow yourself to experiment with it, play with it, especially when times are not as bad, so that that when you need to, you can reach for this. Like, you have a playlist ready, you have your journal, coloring books, everything ready. So when actually you're going through a very very bad patch, you can use those to help you, right? So so this is what I had to share with you today, and I am working on creating a brand new free ebook. It's called the Autoimmune Symptom Relief Guide, and it's a non-medical guide. It contains top tips for managing autoimmune symptoms, autoimmune flares, and finding daily relief. And if you DM me with the word guide, I will put you on the list and send you the link when I publish it really soon.